The moment you step into the lush green canopy of the National Memorial Arboretum, it almost feels like time slows down. August 15th, 2025. VJ Day, the 80th anniversary of victory over Japan, and a heavy one at that. Golden candles flicker along the paths, violins hum softly in the air, and every royal in attendance wears a carefully polished mask of solemn grace. But behind all that elegance, a ticking bomb. Prince William stands near a group of veterans, dressed immaculately in a dark suit, listening to stories of war and sacrifice. His smile is polite, his posture flawless, but inside, he's miles away. His mind is a battlefield. The weight of royal duty, the whispers of betrayal, the ghost of his mother Diana, they're all crowding him. Ever since his father's health began to falter, Williams had to step up, quietly assuming more power, more responsibility, more pressure. And today, during this sacred event, something happens that finally cracks the surface. It starts with a whisper. Laura, Camilla's daughter from her first marriage, she's off in a shaded corner by a memorial statue, voice hushed but laced with venom. William is freezing my mother out. He wants her erased from everything royal so he and Kate can rule alone. The words are just loud enough to catch William's ear. He freezes mid-step. Doesn't turn, doesn't react, just stares at a nearby bronze statue like it holds answers to the pain he suddenly feels stabbing his chest. That whisper isn't new, it's old poison in a new bottle. He's been dealing with Laura's resentment for years, childhood feuds during awkward blended family holidays, snide remarks passed at charity galas, but today, it feels strategic, timed, on VJ Day, in public, in front of insiders. William keeps a calm face, but inside a storm brews. Kate sees it immediately. She watches her husband return from the statue, his lips pressed tight, his hands clenched just a bit too hard. "You okay?" she asks gently. William nods, but he lies, just old memories. But it's not. This time it's war. Not with the press, not with the public, but with blood, with family. The next morning, Kensington Palace is quiet. Sunlight cuts through tall windows, hitting antique wood and oil paintings. William sits in his private study, a cold black coffee untouched on his desk, his phone in hand, thumb hovering over the call button. Laura's voice is still ringing in his ears, and it's not just the words, it's what they represent, a plot. He presses call. They meet at a quiet cafe on the outskirts of London. No press, no security detail in sight, just two people with too much history and even more tension. Laura arrives late, casual but guarded. William doesn't waste time. "Don't act dumb. I heard what you said. You still see me as the enemy, don't you?" Laura stiffens, tries to play it off. "That was just venting. You're blowing it out of..." His voice is sharp but calm, the kind of calm that means danger. "You and your mother have done nothing but stir drama. My mother died because of secrets, because of this system your mother helps poison, and now you're trying to rewrite the story?" The tension tightens. Laura fires back, voice trembling. "My mother was dragged through hell too. She's the queen now, whether you like it or not. Maybe you should stop pretending your mother was the only one who suffered." William leans in. "Then maybe I should stop pretending altogether." He stands and walks out. No goodbyes, no resolution, just fire smoldering behind royal smiles. Because this isn't a spat, it's the opening move in a chess match that could shake the monarchy from the inside. And William, he's done playing nice. Laura doesn't sleep that night. The conversation with William replays in her mind like a ticking metronome, each word hitting harder than the last. His anger wasn't performative, it was raw, personal, the kind of fury you don't fake. By sunrise, she's pacing her mother's living room at Highgrove, hands shaking, voice hoarse as she recounts everything to Camilla. Every sentence William said, every glare, every threat. Camilla listens in silence, sipping her tea like she's trying to stay calm, but her grip on the cup tightens with every word. When Laura finally finishes, Camilla exhales, long and deliberate. "We have no choice anymore," she says, her voice cold. "If we don't protect our place now, we're done." She pulls out a small beige folder from the drawer, a list of contacts, half-sketched notes, red underlines. Camilla's been planning something, quietly, cautiously. Not a scandal, not a media stunt, but a whisper campaign, one seated in the places where real royal decisions get made. The Privy Council, the internal circles, the people who don't give interviews but shape everything behind the scenes. Laura leans over the file. You want me to accuse him? Camilla shakes her head. Not accuse, suggest, plant a seed of doubt, just enough to rattle the foundation. She points at one name, Sir Rupert Hayne, a senior financial advisor to King Charles, trusted, respected, quiet. Tell him you've noticed something unusual. Charity funds tied to Kate's personal PR projects. Be vague, be humble. You're not making a scene, you're expressing concern. Laura swallows hard. That's dangerous. So is being forgotten, Camilla snaps, her voice sharp. William is quietly consolidating everything. Charles won't be around forever, and when the transition comes, if we don't have leverage, we'll be shadows. 2 days later, Laura walks into Sir Rupert's office. She dresses plainly, speaks softly. Everything is rehearsed but made to look clumsy, accidental. She doesn't mention Kate directly, just murmurs about fund allocations, blurred lines between public image and private benefit. Sir Rupert doesn't say much, just nods, listens, takes notes. His face never betrays emotion. But Laura knows how things work here. If he believes something is worth digging into, the right ears will hear about it. What Laura doesn't know is that someone else hears too. Down the corridor, seated quietly on a wooden bench, a young man in a charcoal suit pretends to be lost in his phone. His name is Evan, legal assistant, new to the Palace team, but sharp, very sharp. William hired him 6 weeks ago, not because of a resume, but because of discretion. Evan is the kind of guy who watches patterns, who doesn't need full sentences to understand what's being said between the lines. He sees Laura exit the office, sees her nervous glance over her shoulder, hears faint bits of conversation through the thick wooden door. Charity? Discretion? William? Image? That's enough. He walks straight to the far end of the hallway, finds a private corner, and makes the call. William answers on the first ring. She met with Sir Rupert. Dropped something about misuse of funds. No hard claims, just concern. But it's clearly a setup. William doesn't speak for a moment. When he does, his voice is low, precise. Monitor everything. If they're moving, we need to be ahead of them. Evan hangs up. He already knows what this means. The palace isn't just a place of tradition and tea, it's a battlefield. And this was the first real shot. The oak-paneled conference room inside Buckingham Palace is unusually quiet. A dozen royal advisors, financial officials, and senior council members sit around the long table, the air tense with anticipation. King Charles is absent, his health too fragile for prolonged meetings. All eyes shift to Prince William, seated at the head of the table, calm but unreadable. Laura is present too, flanked by her mother Camilla. Their expressions are carefully controlled, though a flicker of nerves glints in Laura's eyes. She stands. There are some concerns, she begins, voice steady but laced with implication. Recent fund allocations from the Royal Foundation have shown unusual activity, money seemingly redirected toward private public relations campaigns associated with Princess Catherine. It may be a misunderstanding, of course, but I felt it necessary to bring it forward. A ripple passes through the room, polite, murmured reactions. Eyes dart to William, whose expression doesn't shift. He taps a finger gently against a closed black folder on the table, then opens it slowly. "I appreciate your concern, Laura," he says, his voice calm but razor sharp. "But before anyone makes assumptions, I think it's only fair that we review some documents." He slides the folder forward. Inside, printed emails, transcripts of encrypted calls, a lightly highlighted financial report, fake, doctored by Laura and her advisor, Edward, and 3 signed witness statements. William leans back in his chair. "What you've just alleged," he says,